Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where our mission is to provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. USA Global TV and Radio connects you with experts and audiences all around the world every single day to help you succeed in business and to live a richer life. Visit us at usaglobaltv.com to learn about career and life-changing training and mentoring programs like the Listening Mentor. Subscribe to our newsletter to stay informed about our special programs and offers. Discover how you can become a guest on one of our shows or a host or producer of a USA Global TV and Radio show of your very own. That's USA Global TV and Radio, where the doctor is always in.
I just can't take it anymore. I am so tired. I am so frustrated and burnt out. Why won't anyone listen to what I have to say? Yet I look on social media and everybody's smiling and having a great time. Meanwhile, I feel totally alone with my world rushing by. Guess what? Great news. You have a choice. You can change the dynamic by learning how to listen at an elevated level yourself through the power of listening educational courses. Can you imagine from where you are today to having a life overflowing with abundance? It's possible. Learn how to listen at an elevated level. You'll have deeper connections, better relationships, and more authentic conversations. Start today. Go to usaglobaltv.com, education, and learn how to listen. We have courses and children's books. Let's work together to learn how to listen.
Hi, red.olaughlin here. It's good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everywhere in the world here for the USA Global TV and Radio Network in participation today with the E360 Network. This is the Talking Heads program. It's a weekly program that we talk about various aspects of health and wellness. We just went through several weeks on another topic, and right now our topic is how do we achieve that health we want? Particularly, we're at the end of the year. 2024 is coming up. Probably be some New Year's resolutions, but in reality, what does it take to be a little bit better from the health perspective next year? What do we need to do? So that's my focus today. Let me get my website. There we go. The slides are just popping up now. So as a disclaimer, I'm not a doctor, never worked in the pharmaceutical industry. I'm a researcher. I research the human body at the cellular level for cause and effect relationships from a chemical perspective. What happens chemical to chemical reaction. Symptoms, if you have them, that's what we treat, but it doesn't fix the cause of a problem. I need to know the cause of something to fix it. So as I'm doing my research at the cellular level, I want to know what are those causes. That's what I write about. That's what I speak about. That's what we'll be going through today. Our health and our wellness, I believe, is our own responsibility. We sometimes tend to push it off on our doctor or someone else, but it's really and truly our own responsibility. And as always, this presentation is primarily for education. So let's talk about the optimal health journey for next year. What do we need to do? It's like Alzheimer's. There's just not one pathway that the disease happens. There's many pathways that allow disease to develop. Well, if we want to go anywhere in our life, there are many pathways. Or sometimes you come to the end of the road and it forks and you have a choice, left or right. But let's start with the plan. Now, the plan that I'm looking at over the next few weeks, I want to be able to conclude 2023 and begin 2024 so that we have a coordinated group of lectures, presentations that allow you to come in and look at a specific aspect of these things. So expectations, I think, is probably one of the biggest ones on there. It doesn't sound like much, but if your expectations aren't set properly, the rest of it's not going to happen. Obviously, immune system's critical. Fasting, I think, is an important part. But emotions, eating, nutrition, fitness, basic exercise program, mental health, sleep, heart health, brain health, gut health, stress management, aging issues in general, fat and weight management, bones. There's just a lot of issues there that if we're going to have optimal health next year, we probably ought to start thinking about this year. And as we transition to next year, go ahead and start taking more action. So let's start off with the simple question. Optimal health. What if it wasn't today? What if you just got a telephone call from your doctor saying, hey, you only got 6 months to live? But the doctor says, but you can make changes that might make that 1.5 years or 3 years. What would they be? So in other words, you have to look at things from several different perspectives. Tony Robbins says, if you do what you always did, you'll get what you always got. I think there's probably several other people that have variations on that one, but if you continue doing everything you're doing right now, you have 6 months to live. But you can make changes. What would they be? Well, that's what we're going to be talking about here in the next several weeks. So change, it's a small word, but it's a hard word to actually incorporate into our lives. People change for a number of reasons. A couple of them are for fear or reward. In other words, fear or satisfaction, pleasure. Sometimes the pain of staying where you're at is greater than the pain of changing. I mean, this is what Tony Robbins talks about in a lot of his presentations. So you have the dilemma. Do you want to avoid pain or do you want to gain pleasure? Well, most of us will stay with avoiding pain because it's change. It's something new. The gaining pleasure sometimes really does become a major factor, but it's not necessarily something that every one of us chooses to do. And just because we choose it doesn't necessarily make it happen. So how do we align whatever that pain or that pleasure with in our lives? What's truly important? Is it maintaining the status quo, being able to live and tolerate the pain level that we have, which may not even be a pain? It's just that I don't have to change. Or is it something that, I really want this? For 2024 is my year. I need to do something. Just like Tony Robbins, Dr. Morris Massey is somebody I fell in love with back in the 70s. He had a show called You Are What You Were to Win, which was an amazing show. It was back then it was what we call a DVD today. And on the videotapes that I would watch, he would talk about, somebody born in the 40s versus somebody born in the 30s. They have a different set of values. Somebody born in the 50s or 60s, they have a different set of values. And then somewhere around the 60s, he started seeing that rather than a decade, 10 years, the values change. Maybe somebody born in 50 to 55 is different than 56 to 60. And same thing in the 60s and 70s. That 10 years started shrinking down to 5 years, to 3 years, to 2 years. You could have two kids 3 years apart, totally different set of values. So anyway, Dr. Morris Massey coined the term significant emotional event, a C. That significant emotional event is something that happens to you that causes you to change your values. Now, what are your values? It could be something associated with birth, death, marriage, divorce, separation, illness, job loss, jail, retirement, something that happens in your life to you or somebody close to you. You get a phone call from somebody and says, Aunt Mary died because she had a stroke, whatever it may happen to be. And you say, I don't want that. I need to change something. Something happened to you, a significant emotional event happened to you, whether it was to you personally or to somebody you cared about, that wrapped their emotion inside your brain. And that significant emotional event was strong enough to say, I want to change. I need to change. I expect to change. That change has to happen in my life, whatever that is. Some people get out of jail, boom, they have a reason to change. Sometimes you move to a different area, you get rid of all the distractions in your life. Lots and lots of things in there. Divorce, death of a close personal friend or family member, a serious illness. All those things cause people to change. So moving right along. Is changing from 2023 to 2024 a significant emotional event? No, it's not. Just going from one year to the next, there's nothing there that affects your emotions. That's the part that we want to touch. that emotional base inside of us. Going from 2023 to 2024, are we avoiding pain? Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? We're not going to know in the next couple of weeks whether we are or are not. Same thing from the pleasure perspective. Am I going to get more pleasure next year than this past year? Well, I hope so. If we're in the middle of the COVID lockdown, we could be talking about, yeah, we can see that pleasure. I can actually get out of the house and start socializing again. But we're already out of that pandemic mode. We're already out of the pain associated with not socializing. So we've been through that recently. That should have been a major learning effect. That probably could qualify as a generic SEE, a significant emotional event, because it happened to a lot of people and it affected a lot of us differently. Many of us came down with COVID, and some still have long COVID. Some never survived. Some survived and are still doing very, very well. Some ended up out of a job. Many, many effects came from that pandemic shutdown. But what really makes you tick? What will make you expect change for 2024? What is your why? In a lot of different aspects of change, they say if your why is big enough, you're going to make a change. Well, yeah, I used to believe that once upon a time, and then I don't know, and then I believed it again, and then I'm back out of it. Sometimes people's why they want something is so big inside their brain that they can take action. Other times it's so big that they can't even get out of their own way. So everybody is different. We have a want, we have a need, but they talk to our conscious brain. That's the part that does everything that we're looking at around. However, the decision maker, the controller, the thing that makes everything happen in our lives, 95% of it is our subconscious mind. And that is the expectation, our intention. So if I expect something, it will probably happen a whole lot faster than if I need something. I find that if I don't write it down, it won't happen. It's almost as simple as that. If I can say, send me something via email so I can see it, and I'll have an email, boom, or text I can take and write that down on my list of things. But I have to, if I really absolutely need to get this done, and no matter what moment I need to get this done, then I need to attach emotion. We're going to talk about that here very, very briefly. But another person that I learned a lot from his in-person presentations and the books I bought and some of the videos I watched, Vince Vicente. One of my favorite books from him is The Ant and the Elephant. He talks about an ant being on the back of an elephant. Well, the ant wants to go west. The elephant and the ant don't speak the same language. The ant's, trying to tell the elephant, turn around and go west. He's going east. Well, the elephant doesn't even know the ant's on his back. I mean, there's just no way he knows. But in order to coordinate that elephant to go in the other direction, there's things that need to happen for that ant to be able to talk to that elephant and be able to convince that elephant. So that elephant is our subconscious brain. The ant is our conscious brain. The thing that we think we're doing everything in charge of is not. It's that thing that's back there, that 800-pound gorilla that's sitting in your head that's saying, nope, not going to do that. But it doesn't talk to you that way. Now, with Vince, he was in a position where he wanted an Olympic gold medal worse than anybody else in the world. That was his big why. He and another friend, they went out and they said, okay, we're going to do bobsledding. I think it was bobsledding. So they managed to get a bobsled. They got put together. He's a Canadian. They managed to get in there and actually qualify to get into the Olympic competition, but didn't pass. So he wrote it off, says, okay, I did my best. Well, he's sitting at an Olympics several years later, and the guy he trained with is marching out there with the Canadian team marching into the Olympics in another sport. And he's sitting there telling himself, I knew I should have, I wish I'd, anyway, he's sitting there with so much regret. So he's looking at, when is the next event? I got 4 years, I want to be there. Literally a 4-year window. And he looked at the next set of Olympics, and they had a new category called speed skating. And this is literally, you're at the top of a high mountain or something, and you just on a set of skis and you just go straight down. He says he starts out by sitting on a chair. His butt sitting on the top of the chair. His legs are on the where you normally put your butt, and He's shouting out, 50 miles an hour, 80 miles an hour, 100 miles. And literally he says, and that's how fast it takes you to be going 100 miles an hour down the side of a slope. And it was a brand new, uh, sport. Nobody was in it, so there was no previous competition. He had the ability to go out and learn that one and do it. And he did all sorts of things. Uh, I could spend almost another 15, 20 minutes just talking about it. But one of the things he did was he put orange dots. I think they're orange, but he put them on his refrigerator, his mirror, his car. Everywhere he did, he'd stop, and he would see himself standing on the stage with the gold medal around his neck, hearing his national anthem, and he would feel the audience of cheer and applause. He would factor all of that in to his emotional base. Now, if I said factor emotion in, how do you attach it? Well, it's difficult because we think we might have emotion, but in reality, it's not. If I ask you, have you ever ridden a bicycle? Yeah, most of us have. Have you ever ridden a bicycle without shoes? Well, some of us probably have, but we can certainly imagine it. I said, what happens if all of a sudden you're bicycling and you push a little bit too hard with one foot and your toe comes down and catches the concrete? Most of us have a reaction to that. We can feel that pain right from what we're talking about right into our being. So that's the kind of emotion. Vince was using the applause, the feeling of standing there, the visual effect. He was using everything. Every time he saw a gold dot, he would ramp up his emotional, okay, this is my why. This is what I'm doing. This is what I want. Well, we need emotion, but we don't need that much emotion. We don't attach emotions typically to our New Year's resolutions, but those New Year's resolutions could probably be overcome with some level. We find out that I don't repeat the same ones. I wanted to lose weight the last 10 years in a row. I haven't lost anything, so I'm not going to use that as a New Year's resolution. Why? Because that 800-pound gorilla in your head is the one that's telling you, nope, not going to do it. You've tried it before and it didn't work. Now, why is that so important? Because the issue is your subconscious mind, its prime directive in life is do no harm. Allow no harm to happen to you. You're not going to be putting yourself in a position that harm is going to come. So if you have failure, that's harm. That's harm. Boom. Failure equals harm. So I tried losing weight. Maybe I lost a little. Maybe I didn't. I tried losing again, failed. Tried losing again, failed. So I have a history of failure. That history of failure means that if I try it again, I'm going to fail. So the subconscious mind says, if I want to lose weight, I'm going to fail. I'm not even going to start. I'm going to do everything in my world to sabotage you. That's the subconscious mind talking to itself saying, nope, not going to let you do that. However, there are things that we can do. We have certain lessons we've learned. Maybe what I could do is I don't use the word lose weight. Maybe I want to lose inches. I've never had that goal before. Maybe I just want to lose some fat. Maybe I just want to be healthier. So if I change my concept of what I want to do, put it in different words, I no longer have a history in my brain of every time I failed at losing inches or losing fat. I have a brand new clean slate that might work. So I now allow my subconscious brain to help me rather than sabotage me. So I have lessons learned that in the military, we go on a certain exercise or whatever. At the end of it, we write up what worked, what didn't work. And if you look at the same things, what did you do wrong last year, the year before that? What lessons have you learned with regard to wanting to lose weight, wanting to lose inches, wanting to lose fat? Are those same lessons applicable? Am I going to fail anyway? So what truly works for you? Maybe you need to do a little bit more research on that. But there are things in there you probably sabotaged yourself for no good reason. You just happened to catch it at the wrong time. So I look at it from an expectation perspective, particularly on a health journey. I want happiness. Happiness begins with expectations. If my expectations are always way high and I never reach them, I'm not going to be a happy camper. But if I set my expectations lower than maybe what I should, and every single time I succeed, boom, I am now a happy camper because, hey, I wanted that, I got it. I expected that, I got it. And what you're doing is the subconscious mind, because I've met that expectation, it's a happy camper. It's a positive. It's a thing in the plus column. So if I use my expectations to plan my journey, maybe I can use my subconscious mind to help myself, not hinder myself. So why wait till 2024 to start? Why not start today? Because if I make some mistakes now, I'm not making them in 2024. Or if I make some mistakes, I can come back and change them and make it better. So a lot of options I have if I start sooner. So an expectation from a general perspective is it's a state of being. Something will happen. Generally, our expectations is for something positive to happen. Sometimes we end up in that negative spiral, but most of the things are it's going to be happen. It's going to be positive. So how do you begin? Well, part of it's understanding the limits of the brain, and that's what we're talking about today. Who's in control? How do you communicate back and forth to your subconscious mind? So if I look at my subconscious mind, it archives everything in my entire life 24/7 that's ever happened to me. Everything is here. Some of those things are easily retrievable and they're in the front of your brain. Boom, you can get there. Those are the ones with the emotional attached to it. So if something keeps popping into your brain, it probably has something because there was an emotional issue. But that archive is there. If you allow it, okay, you see somebody, I know who that is, but I can't remember their name. You allow that subconscious mind to rotate round and round and round. It may come up with, so tomorrow, oh, that was Sally. I wish I'd remember that yesterday. The subconscious mind has several restrictions. Only present. It has no concept of past, no concept of future. Past, it'll go into your archives and dig out what happened. Future, it has no understanding. It says, I will do this. The will doesn't mean anything. So you can't use a will or a shall. It's a present. So if you're talking to yourself in affirmations or you're writing things down, it's present tense. I am, whatever it is. Only positive. Your subconscious mind has no concept of negative. You know, when you say, I will not have another piece of cake. Well, it doesn't understand the word not from a subconscious 800-pound gorilla. What's not? Doesn't make any sense. I will have another piece of cake. Thank you very much. So that part is there. It has to be personal. You can't do something to somebody else. So if I'm going to say, I want an affirmation about red will lose weight. Well, you know, the will is there. The red is positive because it's me. But red is one of the ones I need. So red is a personal issue. I could say, Mr. O'Laughlin. I could say my whole name. I could say whatever I want. But I have to make it personal because I need to connect it to my own subconscious mind. Now, the big problem with the subconscious mind is it has no idea of real or imagined. In our life, our conscious mind, we know what's real. Most of the time, we know what's imagined. So here's the kicker. That real versus imagined is the key that gets you in the door to change all those failures you had in the past. So in other words, if I start imagining myself being recognized as losing 50 pounds last year as the #1 winner of a weight loss contest, you know, that's one little item. Thank you very much. A little bit of emotion. But if I look at that orange dot, and every single time I look at that orange dot, I have an emotion attached to I was the #1 loser on Fats Anonymous, whatever it is. I was on that show and I won. All of a sudden, I'm starting to place these little slivers of imagined success on top of that big stack pile of failures. And over time, enough orange dots, I'm going to start seeing my stack of imagined successes equal my stack of failures. Now there's a big dilemma for that 800-pound gorilla. He doesn't know which direction to go in. And as a result, he's not going to sabotage you. So what you need to do is, yeah, I want to lose inches. I want to lose fat, but I have to have an emotion attached to it. So it really and truly helps me do that. Those are what I need to do. What is that emotion? Sometimes it can be, you add to that emotion, I have the scent of a lemon or a lime or coconut. I have something that I can add, another sense in my being that when I'm thinking of this, I see that orange dot, I smell a little bit of coconut. I'm enhancing that emotion. So lots of things we can do with regard to our subconscious mind to help us get through the system. Lots of goal setting things on YouTube, a lot of things out there on how your subconscious mind works. With that in mind, I'm going to call a date for today and pick it up next week. So let me bump down here to our slide at the very end. And Oops, there we go, back up one. The USA Global TV and Radio Network has a playlist. If you're looking for previous things I've talked about on Talking Heads, you can be found there. We've talked about all aspects of health last year: lifestyle, artificial intelligence and health, longevity, brain health, toxins, stress, many things out there. So that's a good place to go if you want more on what I have. I have a section on fat management, a section we've done on weight management. It gives you the real chemical background, what's happening in the body with regard to fat management and weight management. A lot of other topics there too. So as I'm getting ready to conclude the show today, the first book there, No Matter What You Can Do It, is a book I wrote several years ago, based on, can't think of his name right this minute, Maxwell Maltz, his book Psycho-Cybernetics. It talks about the subconscious mind, what you can do, how do you talk to it, how things work in your brain. You want to know how to make things happen, and even the why. That's probably a very good source of many that you can get to. So if you want it, Amazon.com or go to my website, red.olaughlin.com. With that, I bid you adieu, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye now.
Meet Lady Ella, a special ladybug who was trained by Grand Beetle on how to listen at an elevated level. After earning her gold wings, Mother Earth and Father Universe asked her to travel across the solar system, teaching life lessons to creatures to respect one another and to listen. Learn more about her travels in the book series, The Amazing Adventures of Lady Ella.
Meet Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck, President, Founder, and Chief Listening Officer of USA Global TV and Radio. She is a certified life, career, and executive coach. Dr. Jacqueline is the Amazon #1 best-selling author of Behind the Green Screen and Adversity to Awesome. As the listening mentor, she teaches children and their families how to listen at an elevated level through the book series titled The Amazing Adventures of Lady Ella, the Listening Mentor. The Creative Hearts Awakening book series features heart-centric creatives who share their awakening journey. Through the Power of Listening educational course platform, people can get certified as elevated listeners on USA Global TV and Radio. Learn how to center yourself and align with nature through the power of nature, plants, and shrines. The Journey of Chakra Psychology course will educate you on the chakras and their meaning. The Intuition of the Heart course will help you understand how to trust your intuition. Learn how to face the shadows of self and understand the impact of following trends and materialism. Set boundaries and ask for permission to help establish better relationships, deeper connections, and more authentic conversations. Take your communication expertise to a higher level with the course for curious humans. After all, we are not robots. Looking to start your own podcast platform? Get everything you need in the Podcaster Pro package with Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. How can music, breath, and your voice set you free? Find out with the Power of Listening courses. Dr. Jacqueline is a certified meditation teacher, yoga instructor, and Juice Plus distributor. She will help you create a plan for your healthy lifestyle. As an expert in the art of interviewing with over 3,000 hosted and/or produced live broadcasts, Dr. Kerbeck helps her clients stand out as global broadcasters. Dr. Kerbeck's books are available on Amazon. Start your listening journey by reading. Tune into the Listening Mentor TV show, Fridays on USA Global TV, and learn how listening can be your superpower. Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck, MBA, DBA, Certified Holistic Life, Career, and Executive Coach, Certified Yoga Sculpt Teacher, Certified Meditation Teacher, The Listening Mentor, Singer-Songwriter, Founder, President, Chief Listening Officer of USA Global TV and Radio. drjacqueline.com. Thank you to all our elevated listeners, team members, animal characters, and co-authors. Contact us at 215-852-9406. Jacqueline at drjacqueline.com.
This program is brought to you in part by the British School of Excellence and founder, Mr. Philip Sykes. Building confidence, changing lives. Do you share our view that etiquette is a set of modern life skills that are essential for personal and professional success? Join us as an etiquette coach and change people's lives through the power of etiquette and manners.
The last few days have been really amazing. I had a trainer course from the British School of Etiquette.
And I must say it's been one of the best decisions I've ever made and one of the best investments I've made in my own training and development.
Now, words alone will not describe the transformation and the positive path that I have traveled with the British School of Etiquette.
I find I learned a lot from the lessons this time I came.
The last few days with the British School of Etiquette have been fantastic.
And what I've learned now is really beyond my expectations.
This is the most rewarding experience and the best investment I have made this year.
It was just great. I learned so much, and when I go back to Belgium I will incorporate a lot of it into my day-to-day life and business.
It's been absolutely wonderful for the whole week that we were here.
I feel transformed, and I feel like blowing a trumpet and tell people, come and do this school, this class is the best, this is the best school ever.
You should take it. It will change your life immediately.
I am now able to teach other people how to bring the best of them.
Thank you.
Thank you, BSD.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you to our clients for their testimonials on the Train the Trainer program. Our exponential and global growth is so significant that we've evolved from the British School of Etiquette to the British School of Excellence, where we're investors in people. Let us invest in you and your career. Contact us to become an etiquette coach. Go to thebritishschoolofexcellence.com. Start your career and elevate your success today. This program has been brought to you in part by Zane Carson Carruth, etiquette and protocol expert, international award-winning author, television show host, and philanthropist. Thank you to Zane, our official diamond sponsor for USA Global TV and Radio in partnership with E360 TV. Zane is the author of the world's first tooth fairy ever, as well as many other children's books. She's also the television host of Elegance, Polished Demeanor, and Posh Living, seen on USA Global TV and Radio.
Hi, my name is Zane Carson Caruth, and I'm the author of this book, The World's First Tooth Fairy Ever.
Reading is magic. Studies have shown that reading to your children lays the foundation for greater success in life. Reading helps develop language and vocabulary skills. It helps improve memory, and it encourages curiosity and inspires creativity. The benefits are immeasurable, and as a parent, you'll benefit too. In only 10 or 15 minutes a day, you'll be creating more memories and a bonding experience that will last for years to come. So take time to read to your children. Read them books about things that engage and interest them. Tales of fairies and magic fascinate children, and as everyone knows, the Tooth Fairy is at the top of the list. If your child loves magic, wands, adventure, and what child doesn't, you'll love reading them books from the trademarked series, The World's First Tooth Fairy Ever. Follow along as Abella, the world's first tooth fairy, accidentally starts the tooth fairy tradition. Learn the tricks of being a professional tooth fairy in the book, Abella Starts a Tooth Fairy School. Your child's imagination will soar as you read the adventures of Abella and her magic wand. These wonderful books are available at worldsfirsttoothfairy.com and at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Walmart.
To learn more about Zane, contact her through her website, zanecaruth.com, ZANECARRUTH.com. Order Zane's books and merchandise. Contact her about being a keynote speaker at your next event.